The Cigar Nerds Podcast.
And welcome to Cigar Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Smokin' Joe.
I'm Brad Jackson.
We're back. Our Zoom's fixed. We only missed a week.
I mean, technically, I think I might be the reason yet again we missed a week.
Hey, I was trying to just, blame mechanical error.
Hey, man, I'm a grown-ass man. I can accept responsibility where responsibilities due, okay?
So, what are we smoking this week, Brad?
This week we have something special from Quesadilla?
Casa Tobacos de Exportación.
Cigars, but this is going to be the Magna Liga F. Casa
exclusive.
Magna, not MAGA. Great, I probably just got us, fucking blacklisted on Apple and everything else.
If we haven't gotten banned yet for the shit we say, it's like, yeah, this is a TAA exclusive, which it's pretty much the same blend as their regular Liga F, which is Ecuadorian sun-grown Corojo over Dominican binders and fillers from the Dominican and Nicaragua, but it comes in a new size and box press that the standard Casa Magna does not come in.
Yeah, and the Liga F is supposed to be there for the potent blend. So this is supposed to be a strong boy.
I like the potence. But before we get started, give a huge shout out to realmensmokecigars.com. I ordered some new Cigar Nerd shirts for DragonCon since I got too skinny to wear our old podcasting shirts. And he threw a whole bunch of swag in I got a keychain, a cool little metal sign, a whole bunch of stickers, and I think like 6 cigars. And if you're watching on YouTube and see our new background in the studio, that was kind of the inspiration. So I tossed a bunch of those stickers up on the wall to give y'all something better to look at than just our ugly mugs. So shout out to him.
Yay for having a face for radio.
So definitely go pick up some cigar shirts from Real Men Smoke Cigars and maybe even some stickers. So this Casa Magna has a nice gold and green label, which kind of goes with the green people we're going to be talking about this week. The Skrulls, because we're going to be talking about Disney Plus Marvel's new Secret Invasion series. And if you've got to fight off a bunch of shape-shifting aliens, you should call in the Strike Force. StrikeForceEnergy.com. Promo Go Cigar Nerds get you 20% off your order and get you all jacked up on the caffeine.
So does that mean that Fury is the Strike Force?
Pretty much, because he's like, I don't need the Avengers. I'll take care of this shit myself. Which didn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, we'll get into that in the main segment. And with that, on with the show. And welcome back to the show. We're about to start talking, we're going to get Fury in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't really get Fury until much later on, but, I'm kind of noticing a trend with Disney, whether it's Marvel, whether it's Star Wars, it's all the same umbrella, but anytime there's an old man, what is this, we know the capabilities. Why do we have to drag out, I'm just a sad, lonely old man? Before, we get to the badassery. I kind of feel like, is that just budget limitations? To be like, hey, I've got to pay you a lot less if you're either just out on an island somewhere, or if you're just running around reminiscing of old times and not really getting into anything.
Very much Danny Glover-esque. I'm getting too old for this shit. Everyone's like, you're not ready for this fight, Fury. He's like, motherfucker, I'm Nicholas goddamn Fury. I started this shit.
God. Samuel L. is 70 years old, dude.
Oh, I mean, yeah, maybe he is getting too old for this shit.
That's sad.
But he looks damn good for 70. He's still probably in better shape than I am. I mean, he doesn't look like Harrison Ford because, Yeah, the last movie, Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Old Folks Home. But
I'm just glad they didn't try to do that whole de-aging thing.
apparently all you need to de-age Samuel L. Jackson is a beard trim and some just for men goatee dye.
Yeah, it's a badass motherfucker. Reach in there and grab my wallet.
Hand me my scroll. It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
But yeah. I kind of feel like we need a scroll invasion. If a scroll just took over me, you would have a consistent, I could be locked away somewhere, never to be seen, and, Scroll Brad is now your co-host.
All right, we're going to have to cut your finger, see if it turns purple, just to verify.
Okay. Oh, yeah, speaking of cutting, I should probably get my knife out of your car at some point.
Oh, yeah, I already got that.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yes.
Oh.
Dude, did you see that guy sever his finger on the Cigar Nerds podcast? What a dumbass.
I did see some video of some dude testing knives and stabbed himself in the stomach to see how sharp it was. And started bleeding all over the counter like, huh? Like this knife is sharp?
I feel like at some point we should just do an episode of, like, Darwin Award,
YouTube fails.
Like, why can't we just bring that back? Remove all the warning label. Oh, yeah, we've had this conversation.
Just clean up the
We're old.
bleach in the gene pool.
Forget the conversations we've had and will have.
So, you for one did not watch Captain Marvel. Were you totally lost going into this? Do you recommend someone watch that shit, or did it do enough job of setting things up? Because we only got like 6 episodes of this. It was kind of one of the shorter Disney Plus series.
I knew enough of Captain Marvel going into this, so I wasn't like completely blind, like, familiar with who the Skrulls are and whatnot. Somebody that doesn't know that. These are kind of self-contained. Maybe you don't know the full backstory, but I absolutely feel like, okay, we got humans, we've got invading aliens that can, disguise themselves as, humans. I feel like, this has been done in Hollywood enough that folks aren't going to be super lost.
Yeah, and in the comics, the Skrulls have kind of always been bad guys, like the original, like, Secret Invasion. And if you watched Captain Marvel, they kind of flipped that script on that, where the Skrulls were initially, you thought they were bad guys, but turns out they were just refugees pretty much, and they were trying to get information from Captain Marvel because their people were at war with the blue aliens, the Kree, and the Skrulls were just kind of, they lost the war and were kind of on the run. They weren't really bad guys, and kind of eventually became teamed up with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I kind of feel
where this kind of went back to them being, or at least some of them being.
Well,
villains.
I think that's the. Anytime you have, a mass exodus or, refugees, you're always going to have, people strive for power and, fortune and fame and, we've seen that, you take in refugees, like, all right, there's going to be a few of those folks that are not necessarily looking to go to a place to better themselves. They're going to put themselves in a better position to learn how to be a better fighter or to infiltrate from within under the disguise of feed me, clothe me, bathe me, haha, now, I'm going to, wreak havoc in your government.
Now I've jacked your body and taken over your,
government. I don't know, this was it's one thing I like about, sort of the Disney Plus is, some of the standalone and self-contained stories are so much better than just the same, overplayed, big screen summer blockbuster. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to see them all at some point, but it's kind of cool to be like, hey, let's go down this path and explore this for, 6 or 8 or episodes.
With 6 episodes, even it being, varying time frames, but around an hour, sometimes some episodes a little less, it gives them time to kind of flesh out. So you can tell a much kind of bigger story than you can in a regular 2-hour movie. And they seem to be more willing to experiment with the Disney Plus series. So it's like each one of these series that have come out has almost been a different genre of storytelling, where this one is very much like gritty spy drama. It just happens to be in the Marvel universe, which I kind of like that. We've not really seen the more like spy-ish elements of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only real complaint is in their experimenting. It's like either commit. It almost seems like every season is a test, pilot, season or whatever, because you never really get wrapped up in full closure. It's always, this can go a few different ways. We're going to leave it open-ended because if the reviews are bad, then, here's your ending. If not, here's another. No, you know what? Flush out, finish your story. That's your season. If it bombs, it's fleshed out. It's, there's no...
Yeah, being interconnected with, like, the movies. Each one seems like they're, setting up a story that's going to be completed. I mean, whatever, Ms. Marvel, that's pretty much ended with, like, that's the beginning of the Marvels movie that's coming out, where I'm not sure where this is going to go. I don't know, one of the things that kind of offset this for me is that no matter how, like, tense the drama was, the trailer for the Marvels had already come out, and you already saw Nick Fury back on the space station running things. So you're like, whatever happens, Nick is going to survive, and things are good. We're definitely winning this Skrull war, because we've already seen a trailer like a month before this came out that shows like all is well in the Marvel universe. And the Earth hasn't been destroyed, so it's like,
and that's kind of the. Sort of the downside.
Yeah, they should have either released this earlier or held off on that trailer until this came out.
We're in that era where, the trailers are fucking badass and everything, but you're almost given too much. Like,
yeah, even if it didn't like spoil the story of that movie, which I don't think it gave enough to do that, it definitely. You knew whatever was happening was not going to end badly. I mean, there was some surprise deaths in this season we'll talk about, but overall, it has to work out. This isn't like Samuel L. Jackson's last ride, because you literally just saw him in a trailer a week ago for another movie that's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know, and even with this series, like, the things that were like, oh, that's going to be a major plot twist, like your build-up gave way too much away. Like, even me not seeing Captain Marvel and stuff like that, like, I'd already oh yeah, this dude's definitely a Skrull. Oh yeah, this dude here is, going to betray. Like, there was just, there wasn't enough, in my opinion, left open to be like, oh man, this could go this way, this could go that way. Like, the story was just too much detailed and too linear. Like,
I gotta say though, because you kind of watched it once it had already finished up. I was doing it the week to week. The episode that ended with Nick going home, and you see like his wife as a Skrull, like cooking dinner, and then when he walks in, she's in human form. And that's where that episode ends. And you're like, oh shit, is Nick's wife secretly a Skrull? And then you find out next episode, like, no, he knows she's a Skrull. He's married to a fucking alien. But for that week, you're like, oh fuck, they've like replaced his wife, and he's about to have to deal with this. It's like, no, I like fucking aliens. I knew that shit from the beginning. Is like, that reveal of like, oh fuck,
and maybe
wife.
That's the difference. Like, I watch shit when I get time to watch shit, because one day I might have time, another week I may have no time, in my day to, so I've got time now, so and maybe that's what I'm missing is, like you said, you had to wait that week because you're watching real time, where me, I'm like, all right, I can do, a couple of episodes today, a couple episodes tomorrow, so I'm not really left with that cliffhanger, feeling.
Yeah, for you, that story wrapped up like,
and maybe
5 minutes later.
And maybe that's, one of the things, like, with streaming service and everything else is maybe this is a psychological thing that streaming has done that has prevented, like,
we've gotten used to the Netflix model of dropping everything at once.
Well, think back to TV.
And we've kind of forgotten like week-to-week TV watching, where Prime, HBO, even Disney have gone back to that week-to-week release instead of even Netflix. Kind of like the last, like Stranger Things and Witcher, they've split the season in 2 chunks, but they're still dropping that whole half season at once. So yeah, it's
I mean, I'm wondering,
definitely different watching shit week to week.
I don't know. I mean, what would happen if a full season was never made available? So if you didn't watch it real time, I would just miss a lot of content. That's, so I would just stop paying for the service.
Yeah, now, back in the day, it's like if we miss something, we're like, fuck, what happened? Because there's no way to like go back and watch it. Now it's like, I missed episode 2. I'll watch 2 and 3 next week, because they're there to watch it any time. I don't have to like schedule my TV watching anymore. Even with the week to week releases, just because it's dropped on Wednesday doesn't mean you have to watch it on Wednesday. You can watch it whenever the fuck you want. So yeah, I know we've forgotten how to watch TV.
I mean, just realistically, if it wasn't for this podcast, I don't know that I'd ever even fucking turn on a TV. Like, I mean, that's 100% like...
Hell, I don't even have like cable anymore. Everything I watch is streaming. And hell, even most of like the network shows, they post the last 5 episodes on their website. So even if you don't watch the WB, you can go to, or CW, whatever it is now, you can go to their website and still catch the week to week shows. So it's kind of pointless to have like normal cable anymore.
But what we all feared is what has happened. All the subscription services now, like, oh, we're going to go to $20 a month, and,
Everybody keeps
we all have our own intellectual property. Hey, I've got 6 streaming services at $20 a month. There's your fucking cable bill back.
Yeah, because like, I'm at 3 services now, and it's, I don't want to pay for another one, but also I kind of want to watch the new. Well, I haven't seen the last season of Mayans, and I haven't watched that new the new season they're doing of Justified. So I'm like, I may have to re-up my Hulu subscription, because I do want to see both of those. Which pretty much what I did. I signed up for Hulu, watched Mayans, and then I canceled Hulu because there was nothing else I wanted to watch. But now it's like, fuck, there's another season of Mayans and Justified. I need to re-up Hulu for like a month till I burn through that, and then I can cancel it again.
Nah, dude, I'll just give you our login to Hulu, and, just as long as you and Rachel aren't competing on who's watching at the same time, you'll be fine. Hulu doesn't care about password sharing.
Thanks, Hulu. Oh.
I was wondering how long that was going to be a thing.
Yeah. Fuckers. So yeah, this starts off with some spy drama. You get homeboy, like, who guy from Black Panther, I can't remember his name, showing up to meet with a intelligence operative, and the dude does a good job of like, the shit he's saying sounds like conspiracy theory, but as things are in the real world, every conspiracy theory is like, give it a week, it's going to be true. I mean, fuck, we had like congressional hearings on aliens and shit the other day.
Yeah,
So,
why aren't the American people clued in on that?
because everyone at this point says, all right, what are y'all covering up? Aliens are real? All right, yeah. Where's Epstein's list?
I think the problem is we were all worried about, who Cardi B threw a microphone at and who, Lizzo was not the, great person that Lizzo was, supposed to be, apparently. I don't know. Didn't she eat a dancer?
Yeah, something like that. Jesus,
Like-
thing's still turned up to weld.
Sorry, man. If we need to solder some shit, we got it on point right there.
Set the fucking pop filter on fire. But yeah, like, dude's like, there's fucking aliens, man, and they're replacing us, and we've been, fuck, was it Everett, whatever his name is. He's like, all right, man, yeah, you got any proof on this? Because he's like, nah, you need to call Fury. And he's like, hey, man, if you tell me what you got, if it's good enough, I'll call Fury. And then, dude, pulls out a gun. He's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not, fucking crazy. This dude's an alien too.
Everyone's an alien.
But they did a good job of like not revealing that quickly, because like, dude attacks him,
I mean, I'll say
he fights him off, and then he gets in a chase with like a random dude, up until the point where he jumps and misses like the building and falls and dies. You're like, oh fuck, he's an alien.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, the first episode or two, like, it was just after that, and it was like, okay, alien. Like, my assumption was everybody's an alien, and pretty much everybody was an alien.
Yeah, when we get the reveal that Rhodey's, I mean, I was calling that from like the beginning, because he was just not. Don Cheadle's a good fucking actor, and Skrull Rhodey was just different enough that you're like, that's not Rhodey. Like, he was just way too kind of cocky. The real Rhodey is cocky, but he's not a dick. And this guy was kind of a dick, and I'm like, that guy's definitely a fucking alien.
Wasn't cocky, he was just confident. There's a difference.
I do like when he's in the government hearing with all the other like heads of state, and they're like, why is your president here? He's like, because the president doesn't show up when he gets summoned. Y'all get me, and that's a courtesy. And he looks at it, he's like, and he's like, if fucking Slovakia keeps eyeballing me, I'm gonna go put on the other suit and like, fucking cruise missile her ass. I just don't think Rhodey would like joke about like, fucking going putting on his that other one too, would like Samuel Jackson calls, Fury calls him on the phone. He's like, nice suit, is that Armani? He's like, that's a little expensive, isn't it? And he's like, well, my other suit's made of titanium, so this is actually like, more economical. It's like Tony was always the funny one. Rhodey was like the straight man. So
Yes.
It's like this guy being like a wise ass and busting people's balls. You're just like,
It doesn't really work.
I don't know if this is like you said, yeah, him. I was like, that motherfucker's definitely going to be an alien.
Yeah, I mean, I could see if they approached it more from a litigation standpoint, but at the same time, like, was there a part of you that was like, God damn, that's an America, leadership America needs?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should let the Skrulls take over.
They already have.
But I did not see them killing off Maria Hill, though. That one was when I was like, oh, fuck. Like, so yeah, there was some definitely like, oh shit moments in this series. Because like, they've kind of given her just a little bit more to do each movie, each series, where it's like, all right, yeah, she's like, in the comics, she's fucking Fury's like right-hand man. And when Tony became director of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics, she was like Tony's like go-to person. And then like, yeah, they just fucking murk her in the streets of Moscow. I was like, oh shit, that's when you're like, no one's safe in this series. Like, anything could happen except for Samuel L. Jackson. We know he's gonna win, but everybody else could be fucked.
Yeah. Nah, not that ballsy.
And I like in some of the flashbacks too, you find out that basically Fury built his whole, they're like the original Shield, like his big intelligence apparatus that made him like head of Shield and all that was basically the Skrulls are the ultimate spies. And he's like, hey, you guys work for me. Me and Carol Danvers will try to find you a new home while you work for helping me protect mine. But then he never found them a home. And when the blip happened and he disappeared, Talos was like, there's no one helping us. I'm just going to bring all the Skrulls here and try to safeguard them myself. And then like the kind of the young upstarts were like, nah, fuck, Fury like promised us this and we didn't get it. So we're just going to take his planet. But I love Ben Mendelsohn is a fucking great actor. I love him and Fury together because, you know, you saw him in Captain Marvel, but then like they've been literally working together for 30 years at this point, and they have that fucking buddy cop, like two old dudes that have been partners for too fucking long, like just busting each other's nuts back and forth. And it's like those two's like interaction of being like, you know, grumpy best friends is hysterical. I was like, I love that the relationship they built between those two characters. And him and Fury even had that conversation. He's like, so if you got the offer to side with the rebels, why didn't you take it? You know, why did you choose us over your own people? And he's like, I didn't take the offer because I'm with you. Like, you're my friend and I'm actually, you know, a fucking loyal dude. And like, I still believe you're going to keep your promise eventually. So they've definitely, like, you know, made him an honorable character.
So what do we have, like 10 more years left before we reach that point in our friendship?
I don't know. We're pretty, I mean, we had like fucking chiropractor appointments together today. I mean, I think we're already in the grumpy old man stage of our life.
We just got to aspire to get lawns that we can tell people that we give a shit about to get off of them.
Yeah. Get off my lawn, you damn kids.
Just going to buy 2 houses next door.
Be like that movie, was it Grumpy Old Men, where you just walk out in the morning like, fuck you, yeah, fuck you, and then go back in your house.
Have a, you know, habit trail, you know, going between both.
Win that $1.5 billion lottery and we'll buy a subdivision, but no one else lives in it. It's just, we just have a subdivision to ourselves.
We're that HOA everybody bitches about.
Dude, just get some golf carts, play real life Mario Kart through the neighborhood streets. Be an epic paintball field. We just like airsoft door to door.
We'd have like a prepper colony.
Hells yeah. Bunkers.
Bunkers and badasses.
With fireman poles to get into the bunker. It's like, you know, going to the bat cave. You got to jump on the pole. And
I went straight to Ghostbusters.
That too. Oh. But yeah, it's like when we see Nick, because apparently like the whole getting blipped out like gave him a little PTSD. So he was like, I got to get off Earth. I'm going to go build this space station to protect the Earth from intergalactic threats. And when he, you know, been out of the game too long until they find out, you know, there's a Skrull rebellion threatening the Earth. So now I started this shit. So now I got to come back and fix it. Yeah. When he lands, he's like fucking looks like his knees all jacked up. He's like grown a beard that's all gray. And you're like, oh damn, this isn't like the badass Fury we've seen in all of the Marvel movies up to this point. Like, he's like legit like old man, you know, and even like the current like operators and agents and, you know, even his friend from the like MI6 is like, you're not prepared for this fight, Fury. You've gotten old, man. You need to go back to your space station and enjoy your working retirement there. And even him like when he has that meeting with Rhodey and Rhodey fires him, or Skrull Rhodey fires him, he like fucking has to sit on the park bench for a minute and be like, God damn it, like this shit's real fucked up, and maybe they're right. I'm getting too old for this game. And like, what's her name even asked me at one point, like, why don't we call your super friends? And he's like, no, because we're humans and we can't always call the Avengers to bail us out of every problem. If we can't defend the Earth ourselves, we don't deserve
to
heroes.
have an Earth.
And also the whole thing, like, hey, Skrulls have this machine that they can steal people's superpowers, and I don't want to give them any more. I don't want them, like, grabbing a Hulk and having to deal with an army of fucking Hulks.
Dude, has that been done yet? Hulk Skrull?
I think in the comic books they did. I mean, Super Skrulls are a thing in the comic books that, fucking Deadpool killed all those, though. There's
or was it Skrull Pool?
Well, fucking, it was an old Deadpool comic where basically Deadpool gets captured by the Skrulls, and he's like, I'm immortal. Y'all should take my powers. So they fucking take his DNA to try to build Super Skrulls. Well, then it turns out he's like, yeah, my superpower is healing, but I have, like, mega fucking cancer. So basically he just gave all the Skrulls, like, super cancer, and they exploded.
What a dick. Wipe out one species to save another.
Oh.
That is the human way.
But that whole, the Skrulls are immune to, radiation, so they're all hiding out in various Chernobyls. Have we checked Chernobyl lately? We may have aliens hiding there.
I mean, I don't think the aliens would hide out in Chernobyl. I think they'd just be in plain fucking sight.
It's like Chernobyl's too popular. You gotta, like, hang out at undisclosed former Russian nuclear sites.
No, that's why
Have we
they
been
all...
in Dawson Forest lately? There may be some Skrulls hiding in Dawson Forest.
That's why they all are in Area 51. It isn't that it's all top secret and everything else. It's because it's already been decided. That's where the aliens are. All right, everybody's already talking about it, so let's just go ahead and put them here, and
And no one will believe they're here. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's bullshit. That's what the government wants us to know. They're, like, secretly in some fucking location that we don't know about.
It's just like, the nuclear, disposal there in Dawson Forest. It never happened.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you like their first plot of, like, we're gonna bomb this UN delegation by taking over a sub, and they got to go in and convince the Skrull Admiral to give up the code. And he captures Talos and is like, you good? He's like, yeah, Nick, come on up. And is like, you done fucked up. Nobody calls me Nick, motherfucker. Because that was a thing from Captain Marvel that you missed. She's like, what's your name? He's like Nicholas Fury. He's like, he's like, no, they call me Fury. He's like, well, what does your mom call you? My mom calls me Fury. What about your friends? My friends call me Fury. What about your kids? I don't have any kids, but if I did, they will eventually call me Fury. Nobody calls me Nick.
Calm down, Nick.
It's like when Talos tells him that, like, yeah, there's a million Skrulls here on Earth, and he's like, have you lost your green reptilian mind? In fact, you should get the fuck off my train right now.
We never did our train ride to Blue Ridge.
They're fucking Skrulls. Can't get tickets. Too many Skrulls on the train. Oh. And of course, we got several new characters in this. We got Gravik, leader of the Rebel Skrulls, but we also got Emil Clark as Gaia, Talos' daughter, who started off as a rebel and then became kind of, when she figured out the rebels were not as cool as she thought they were.
I mean, dude, everybody wants to be a rebel till it's time to start doing rebel shit.
Well, then you figured out, like, oh, y'all the ones that killed my mother, and
you're just
eventually
master
kill her
manipulators, and, Yeah, okay.
Oh, but that I love. Was it Sonia? Olivia, played by Olivia Colman, who's kind of Nick's old MI6 ally. When she goes into like after the terrorist attack, goes into question the skull and is like fucking with the Russians. Like they're holed up in a in like a butcher shop, like torturing this dude. And he's like, "You won't give us anything." He's like, "Well, maybe y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing. Why don't y'all get out of here and give me some time alone?" Because she's like one of those motherfuckers and just torture a son of a bitch and just like never like get up, like just.
Oh, sweetie, this
maintain,
is
like,
really gonna hurt. Let's just cut to the chase, okay? You
yeah.
can either talk or this is gonna get really painful really quickly. Oh, you don't have any? Okay, that's what they all say. So we're gonna start here. Like,
Yeah, she's that when she figures out like her boss is a Skrull and takes him out, and then goes to find the scientist who's building the Super Skrull machine, and like walks in and he's like, "Hello, Skrulls." Like, you know, I'm very good at two things. I can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. Which one do you want? And like the husband is like got the shotgun on her, and he's like, "Oh, yo, you need to get out of here." And she's like, "Oh, Nigel, like someone's gonna have to talk to HR about this." She's like, "My name's not Nigel." "No, Nigel's the one behind you with the barrel of his gun pointed to your head." "Oh, there he is." Like, she just fuck people up with like just a smile on her face. It's like, I love that character.
pip pip, tally ho. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, like dude starts like holding his wife hostage. Like, "I'm not gonna let her betray us." And he's just like, "Men always either gaslighting you or trying to kill you," and just shoots him in the face. Like, does not give a fuck. And she's like, "All right, now that you've got your skull husband's brain matter on your face, you're gonna cooperate, or do I have to shoot you too?"
Ah, yes.
And when she's running through the hospital later on trying to rescue the president, like murking dudes right and left with whatever darts. Like, she's like just a bad motherfucker.
Why didn't she get a series?
Well, maybe if they do a season 2, because at the end of it, she, finds Gaia, who's now like the ultimate super Skrull, and she's like, "Let's not make the same mistakes like Talos and Fury did, and keep friendship out of this. You'll use me, I'll use you, and we'll save both our peoples." So now she's like, kind of leading the hunt of the rest of the rebel Skrulls on Earth, and with Gaia, while Nick's fucking off back to his space station to try to negotiate peace with and give the Skrulls somewhere to go to get them the fuck off the planet.
Let's face it, the only peace that Fury is negotiating for is a piece of alien ass. Okay?
Yeah, because you get that, his wife gets the call, because apparently while he's been gone, she's been working with the rebels, and they're like, "Nick's a threat, you're going to have to take him out." But, Nick had already tapped her phone because he didn't trust her. And they end up, like, having that conversation at the dinner table, and is like, "Was I always a mission for you, or did you actually love me?" And they both pull their guns, and they both miss intentionally. And it's like, look at both like, shit, I don't know if this means we need to get a divorce or renew our vows. He's like, "I couldn't kill you, you couldn't kill me. I guess it's love." And she turns out to be a badass, because when Gaia goes back to the house, even though she knows like the rebels are coming for her, because she didn't kill Fury, she's like, "I'm not hiding. I'm staying here in my house, because if somebody's gonna come to kill me, I'm gonna make them do it where I'm comfortable." And also, I have like badass backpack, fucking body armor with shotguns and shit stacked over. Because that gunfight with her and Gaia, I was like, hell yeah. Fuck, I was like, I want one of those bulletproof backpacks that just turn into a plate carrier. Those things are fucking awesome.
I can get you one. Those got issued at work, apparently. I'm like, this has a fucking plate carrier.
Yeah, because I've seen the ones that just have the bulletproof insert. But yeah, the one where you just pull it over your head and it turns into a plate carrier. I'm like, that's badass. I need one of those.
Yeah, it just has room for a plate. It's not that badass. Doesn't go over your head. I mean, you could put it on your head, but then you're gonna be like,
well, the ones they had, and I think it might be shellback. I looked it up one day. I can't remember what the name of it is, but yeah, basically like you reach and grab like that drag handle on the back and pull, and it comes up over your head and gives you a front plate, and you get like a full front and back plate carrier in those. It's not just the whatever regular bulletproof back insert that you can kind of use as a shield. This one actually turns into a full plate carrier and still has room for your laptop and accessories.
yeah, I slam all of my shit down too much. Sometimes it's getting broke.
Drop that 5-pound plate on your foot. You're like, God damn it. I just broke my laptop and my toe. But yeah, turns out, Gravik's ultimate plan is apparently Nick collected all the Avengers DNA for some kind of unknown project. Probably Project Tahiti that saved Coulson's life at one point. And it hid the DNA just in case. And he's like, I want that DNA because now I got this cool machine. I'm not happy with just having Groot and Obsidian Black's powers. I want all the powers. So he's like, I'm going to cause World War III unless you come to whatever Chernobyl we're hiding in and bring me the DNA. So he goes to like, what is it, fucking Romania or wherever the hell he had his stash house at. And it's like, there's his, like, it's hidden inside his grave. And she's like, didn't you have one of these somewhere else? He's like, oh, I've got these things all over the place. Yeah. Dead man needs options. But then he goes into that like mausoleum and starts open it. And it's like, oh shit, there's the trench coat. There's the fucking eye patch. There's his favorite Smith & Wesson pistol. It's like, fucking Nick Fury's back. And then the next time you see him, it's like goatee is trimmed, possibly dyed. It's no longer the gray beard. He's like, he's like,
dude, the gray was the dye. The gray was the dye. Okay, I refuse to believe that
Nick Fury doesn't go gray. Yeah, that was all part of his disguise. But yeah, when it's like, it's time to suit up. Yeah, it's like every superhero show. Like they always start off in like street clothes, and by the end of it, I mean they did it with Hawkeye, they did it with fucking WandaVision. Like every series.
Admiring your Hawkeye calendar behind me. I'm not sure when that got put there, but
yeah, it's my July was Captain America. Yeah, Hawkeye is August apparently, because of course July's got to be Captain America. But yeah, it's like all the Avengers series. They get a new super suit by the end of it, and this was Nick putting on his super suit. You got to get the trench coat and the eye patch back on, and now it's time to do work.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted that in like episode 2.
Yeah, there's like we get 5 episodes of him being grumpy old man. Like and then we only got like really one good episode of him being badass Nick Fury.
Yeah, because then it kind of changed from him being badass Nick Fury to really Gaia sort of taking the spotlight with her badassery.
Yeah, because you see fucking Sonya go to, well, you see her call Skrull Rhodey and be like, hey, you got to get out of there. Fury's coming for you. So they pull the president out, and all of a sudden, like, dudes all start getting taken out, but you don't see who's taking them out. You assume it's Sonya, because at the same time, Fury is at the Skrull base to turn over the DNA, and he's like, freaking getting sick from the radiation, and you're like, damn, are they, even though like I've seen the trailer, I know he's gonna survive, like, are they gonna fucking kill Nick Fury here? Because he's getting like pretty weak in this radioactive wasteland here. And then homeboy turns on the machine to like give himself all the Avengers power, and then goes to like, I'm gonna kill you. It goes to punch Fury, and Fury just catches it and is like, guess what, not Fury, it's fucking Gaia, and she's pissed off because you killed her daddy, and I have all the superpowers you do, but I'm more pissed off than you, so I'm gonna fuck you up. But that's one of the coolest things I think I've seen in a Marvel series, is that fight with Gaia and Gravik, where they're just like switching powers between, you're like trying to figure out like, ooh, who's he using now? There's Captain Marvel, like, what's the fucking ice arm? And it's like, oh yeah, that's like a fucking Loki DNA or some shit because he's like an ice giant. It's like just watching like them like just switching powers back and forth as they're fighting is cool as shit.
I mean,
when she pulls out the mantis things and puts him to sleep while they're flying, so he crashes down. I was like, that's fucking pretty cool.
Sleep.
Fucking turns into like what's his name from Guardians. She even has his tattoos. When her arm gets all swole up, she's like, check out my guns now. I'm Drax.
Drax, bitch. Yeah, that was a pretty badass fight. Just like you said, watching them alternate powers and
oh yeah, then finally just like blows a basketball-sized hole in his chest with a Captain Marvel laser blast. It's like, yeah, try to regenerate that, motherfucker. You don't have any Deadpool DNA. You can't regenerate from just a head. I'm gonna rip out your fucking heart and spine.
And that's how we get heads in glass jars.
Yeah, so as she reveals that she is not Fury, Fury reveals he's the one in the hospital murking all the motherfuckers and gets in the standoff with Skrull, Rhodey, and the president. And finally just shoots him in the face and it's like, see? He's a fucking alien. Hurry up and stop World War III.
You don't have time.
But then the president's kind of pissed off about aliens now and like starts like, we're declaring all aliens enemies of the state. And you just get that whole like sequence of just random dudes like murking aliens all over the planet and occasionally accidentally murking the real people because like the British Prime Minister was a Skrull, but she returned and then she got assassinated because somebody thought she was a Skrull. So it's like, yeah, Mr. President, y'all, causing some shit with that hateful speech of yours. And the president's like, I don't care. If you want to save the Skrulls, get them the fuck off my planet. And he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to go back to my space station and start negotiating shit. Which leads us to one of the kind of controversies of this. Like, when they start freeing all the people that have been duplicated, we see Rhodey, and he's wearing, like, a hospital gown. So and Gaia just tells him, like, take it easy. You've been captured for a long time. So now the big debate online is exactly how long has Rhodey been a Skrull? Because some people are saying he got replaced during Civil War. Like, so because he's wearing a hospital gown, which the last time we saw him in a hospital gown was after his crash in Civil War. So has he been a Skrull, like, through Infinity War and Endgame? Were the leg braces that Tony built for him just fake because he's been a Skrull all this time? Or did they, he'd go in for a fucking checkup at some point and they jack his ass later on? I guess we're going to have to wait till the whatever Armor Wars series to find out for sure. But I don't know. I don't see him being a Skrull all that time. That would be weird if, like, but then again, like, Thanos wipes out half of humanity. I guess you're going to have to be an Avenger because they would have wiped out half the Skrulls too. So you got no choice. Like, well, I'm War Machine. My plan to take over the Earth is going to have to pause while we fight off fucking
this other dude that's trying to destroy the Earth.
That doesn't make any sense because you find out, like, Thanos brought all the Skrulls in during the blip. So why would there already be Skrulls replacing key humans before that? So it'd have to be sometime after Infinity War. Would make more sense, but
see, this is the rabbit hole. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think back to Civil War. No. Great movie. I remember watching it. I don't remember that level of detail. Like, my attention to detail when I watch shit is, like, way down here somewhere.
But we did have in whatever Endgame, when they figure out time travel, he's like, why don't we just go back in time and, like, kill baby Thanos? All right, that's kind of a Skrull thing to say. So maybe But yeah, I think they caught him sometime in the blip because like I don't see him being switched out since Civil War. That's just.
I mean, there were definitely big personality changes. You know.
Yeah, maybe like between Infinity War and I can't remember if he got injured during Infinity War or not. That would have caused him to be in a hospital at some point. But say, for argument's sake, that he has been in stasis since Civil War. That means he doesn't know Tony's dead. He doesn't know about the blip and all that other shit. So next time we see Rhodey, he's probably gonna have some like PTSD because like he just wakes up, finds out like half of humanity got wiped out for 5 years, and his best friend's dead, and he's been a Skrull's meat puppet for the last decade nearly. I mean, that's gonna be a lot for the dude to take in. Because hell, when he shows up and gives advice to Falcon and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that seemed Rhodey-like. It didn't seem Skrull Rhodey-like. So I'm like, I can't pinpoint it. Like the rumor is, yeah, he's been a Skrull since Civil War, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's television. Doesn't have to make sense. It was there to entertain and to get views. What did it do? It entertained and it got views.
And it confused the shit out of us, so now we have to watch everything else that comes out, and hopefully it explains in the next thing up. Fucking Disney hooked us again. It's all part of their evil Skrull mouse plan.
The mouse is a Skrull.
All right. If you were a Skrull, who in this world would you want to replace? Because if you got one of those machines, you get all their memories and shit, so you can literally be that person.
Definitely Tommy Lee.
Like, I just want to have a huge dick. And play music.
Fuck bitches, get money.
I think it would be cool to be, if you're going to go rock star, Skrull Ozzy, but 70s Skrull Ozzy. Not like current Ozzy, but Ozzy back when he was like doing all the drugs.
Yeah, but you're going to have all the which means you're not going to remember shit.
Yeah, maybe that's why Ozzy's so like out there now. It's like, the Skrull version of him is like, dude, I tried to download this guy's memories, but they are fucked up. He doesn't remember decades. I don't know what the hell's going on.
What you just like I don't know. I don't want to be a political figure. I don't want to, No. Fuck that.
Skrull Elon. You get all the nice toys and money. Just straight inventing shit. I want an electric truck that looks like a spaceship. Bet. Let's do it.
It's already happening.
Yeah, Elon probably is a Skrull. I mean, he's definitely an alien.
But then you got all this fucking Twitter drama, and we love you, but now we hate you, and fuck that.
So do you think we get... Because they kind of left this open-ended with like,
Yeah, I don't think they know what they're going to do, obviously.
Yeah, because I do remember, I'm like, there wasn't a great... Yeah, we defeated the rebels this time, but they reveal at the end there that the English people found like a shitload of people that were still in those machines. So we still know there's a whole bunch of Skrulls out there hiding in plain sight, possibly bad guys.
Like,
so they didn't really cleanly wrap up the invasion.
Why didn't they just give us, Skrull Hitler? Like, where's that dude at? Like,
that was the fucking media guy. There was one of the Skrull council that was like, oh yeah, of course you've got a loudmouth political commentator as a to help sow bad things between people. That makes way too much sense. As we're gonna get a couple politicians and a couple media guys and to enact our ultimate plan. But yeah, they didn't really do a good job of wrapping up the war. So I don't know if we're gonna get a kind of complete this story in a future movie, or we're gonna get a second season of Secret
All
Invasion.
depends on, how much money it cost, how much viewership and revenue it brought in. That'll be your determining factor.
Yeah, true enough. What about
because that whole, hateful speech, blah blah blah, was it ever revealed that the president is not a Skrull?
I think so, because we never saw him scrolled up, or when they cleared out that one cache of people. And if Rhodey was a Skrull and they're like, hey, you need to get the president to do this, if president was a Skrull, then he wouldn't need to convince the president. The president would have just been like, cool, I'm in on the plan.
It's all about optics, baby.
True enough. Does one Skrull not know when someone else is a Skrull? I mean, it could be just kind of a double blind, everything's compartmentalized and one group doesn't know what the other group's doing.
Hey, you can keep an eye on this shit. I can keep an eye on, that shit. I can send you all over the world. Nobody's gonna bat an eye.
Yeah, he was the more obvious one to cover up the less obvious one. I don't know. But then again, this felt more like the start of something than the end of something. They were setting up a further story instead of concluding the story we got.
Yeah, I don't know. Would I like another? Sure, I'd like another continuation. But let's actually wrap it up. Or hey, this is gonna be a 3-series thing.
Yeah. What about the? We didn't talk about the attempt on the president when Gavik and all them show up trying to be Russians and try to assassinate the president, or fucking, because Rhodey knows that shit's coming, and him fucking shit's blowing up all over the place, and he's just sitting in his car going, "Ooh, we're being attacked. Hey man, you got get me a breath mint or something." And then fucking Talos tried to break the glass and get to the president, and and then him getting fucking murked by Gravik. They're like, "Oh shit, it's an alien," and he's like, "No, he's with us. Don't shoot him. He's a good one. Shoot all these other motherfuckers." Yeah, that was another one I was kind of sad to see them end his character, because I really liked what they did with Talos this season.
Yeah, that was definitely a cool dynamic between Fury, Talos, and even Talos and Gaia trying to actually instill the mentorship and just be like, no, it can't just be fuck it all,
Yeah, and she's like, what is your plan?
You don't want our people to all be judged based on the actions of one. We can't do that to, this civilization either.
Yeah, and she has that conversation with Priscilla, Fury's wife, because the last conversation they have before he's killed, she's like, what is your plan? He's like, well, we're going to save the president, and then, we're going to show him who we are as that we're not evil like Garrick, and, we're going to once we have that leverage of we just saved your life, I'm going to get him to help us out. And she's like, you're just being fucking naive. This is never going to happen. You're just as dumb as Gravik is. And then she has that conversation. It's the last thing I said to him was this, what daughter says that to her father? And he's the type of daughter that expects to apologize for it the next time you see him. And shit, he knew you didn't mean that stuff that you said, because you're a child pretty much, even though you look like a grown ass adult. You're the Skrull equivalent of a grumpy teenager. And does she get to be an Avenger someday? It's like we're building a new Avengers team. Do we get Super Skrull Gaia as a Avenger in one of these future Battle of Kang movies or whatever?
I feel like that almost has to be a thing.
Hell, she doesn't need. She's the entire Avengers team. She has all the powers. It's like we can't afford all the Avengers, so we're just gonna give Gaia all the powers. It's more economic for the budget.
All these other people.
We only need one actor.
Have gotten too popular.
I'm the Queen of Dragons, motherfucker.
Calm down, Khaleesi.
Oh. Yeah, do we get Shang-Chi 2 and Fing Fang Foom, the dragon shows up, and then Gaia has to show up and like tame the dragon? She's the Queen of Dragons. The fucking Dragon Ball Z crossover or some shit.
No crossovers. Fury goes to his little ship. His wife goes with him. They live happily ever after. The end.
Until the Marvels. And then we get another adventure. Oh. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I just hope he keeps the goatee and the pimp joke jacket. Yeah. Old Man Fury was not a good look. I want to see badass Nick Fury. He shows up back on the space station like, oh, fuck, he's wearing the coat again, dude. We got to, like, straighten up. Motherfucker's back to being hardcore.
No, he gets on the spacesuit. He throws on his Hey Dudes.
He goes full, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah, how he'd always come in and then take off, put on his slippers and his sweater. Yeah. Nick shows up at the thing. He like takes off his trench coat, puts on his like Cosby sweater and his slip-ons, and it's like, "All right, guys, I'm back to retirement." Let's go kill some aliens that aren't Skrulls.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of at some point it's like, hey, you had a path to
Flurkin.
Reconciliation. You chose to go, full Hitler. Can't help you there. Like, this is now on you.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I tried to save you, but like now you're going full asshole, and you're just gonna cause more trouble than you're starting a war, not ending a war at this point. So where do you think this falls in the Marvel? Like, probably not the best thing they've done, but it wasn't bad. It's kind of getting a little bit of a hate, but it's like it's kind of like some of the other shit. If you go in knowing you're watching a spy drama, then
I didn't really hate it. I just wish this cycle of do a thing, finish a thing, and that was the thing.
I know, like fans of the comic books had a lot more like Avenger participation in it, where this was just a Nick Fury story. Which some of the people that were like expecting legit secret invasion were a little disappointed in it. But as a spy drama, I thought they did a pretty good job of doing something in that genre.
But at the same time, like, I don't know. See, I differ. Like, if I've read a book or I've read a comic, like, I don't expect a show or a movie to follow that. Like, if that's the case, then what's the fucking point? Like, you already know everything that's going to happen. Like,
yeah, you got to change it up just enough to give us something unexpected. You can't be expecting a shot-for-shot remake of something. And the MCU's kind of done a good job of that, of like, yeah, we're going to use the things that you're familiar with, or the character-wise, and elements of the stories you're familiar with, but we're going to do something new to surprise you and not just give you a shot-for-shot remake of this particular comic book.
I don't understand, like, oh, this differed from the comic book and I hate it and blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know. For me,
maybe not Avengers, but we've got that the villain team pretty much. shit, what the hell they called it? The movie with the new Black Widow and Thunderbolts. Guy could be a Thunderbolt member whenever we get that movie. She would kind of fit in that non-Avenger lineup.
Thundercats?
No, Thunderbolts. That's a different movie. Less cat ears.
Oh. Okay.
But that's all we got for you this week. What do you think of this here? Almost forgot about the cigar.
Cigar's good. It is spicy, woody, earthy. Pretty consistent. Not a lot of variation from start to finish.
Nice
But
level of strength as well. It's not like overpowering, but it's
No,
good
I
enough
mean,
to keep
it's-
your attention.
I mean, I don't know that I've smoked too many of who did we say it was?
Casada.
Quesadilla.
Yeah, quesadilla cigars.
Casada stuff. But this is definitely one that, I mean, even given the tax increases, the price increases of everything overall, for this just being over a $10 stick, absolutely worth, the money that
Yeah,
I paid for it. Like, I'm not disappointed at all. Maybe a little bit over humidified. I had to do a few relights, but that's nothing that a little bit of time in a humidor can't balance out. No other construction issues. No.
Yeah, it's gone out a couple times, but it's not burned funny. It hasn't gotten a canoeing or anything like that. So it's fairly good construction. But yeah, maybe these are a little bit over humidified at the moment. But yeah, these I would definitely recommend having another one of these.
And in fact, I'm probably going to end up having another one. Like, and my
this one might make
buddies
it
that
into
are,
rotation.
venturing into, hey, I want to get away from my typical stuff, I'd absolutely throw this and say, hey, try it. Let me know what you think, and have no reserves about, sharing this, or, if you're like, hey, dude, can I get a cigar? Yeah, smoke this, and I would have no problem passing
Yeah, this one
out.
definitely make it into the recommended list. Well, that's all we got for you this week. We'll be right back with some science. And if you are watching on the YouTubes, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out. And you've been watching the Cigar Nerds podcast. Check us out on cigarnerdpodcast.com and on the ESO Network, esonetwork.com. And don't forget, smoke them if you got them. Like, comment, and subscribe.